Nice. So welcome to today's
In this
stream.
new Bounty series, we'll be
Today I'll
learning how to
sharing
build a
few quick
VTuber stream
updates for
from
the
scratch.
VTuber
We'll be
tutorial
covering a few
project.
things, such as setting up a
Apart
VTuber
from
character in Unreal Engine,
developing
using different
a
motion
full
capture tools to
VTuber
drive
tutorial
character
series on
animations,
YouTube
streaming
that you can
directly
search
to
up
major
now. We've
platforms
also
like
created
Twitch or
different custom
TikTok,
blueprints
and
that
building
I
interactive
have
events
been
based on
kind of
viewer
slowly
engagements
adding
from your
to the
streams.
Google Drive. So
For the past few months, we've been
hopefully
researching and
I'll be able
experimenting
to
with
share
different
that with
VTuber
you very
workflows,
quickly.
and we can't wait to share these
But
with you.
as a starter,
So be
I'm
sure
just
to
gonna
follow the rest
quickly
of these
share
tutorials
my
to start
screen.
VTubing from Unreal Engine and join our Discord for any updates.
So if you've been following us, you'll know that we've been working on the VTuber tutorial project, and
in this new Bounty series,
here,
we'll be learning how to build a VTuber stream from scratch. We'll be covering a few things, such as setting up a VTuber character in Unreal Engine, using different motion capture tools to drive character animations, streaming directly to major platforms like Twitch or TikTok, and building interactive events based on viewer engagements from your streams.
And now we're looking
For the past few months, we've been researching and experimenting with different VTuber workflows, and we can't wait to share these with you. So be sure to follow the rest of these tutorials to start VTubing from Unreal Engine and join our Discord for any
especially
updates.
to do with webcam tools. So I'm just gonna go super quickly on what I've been working on very quickly. As someone in the community I think has mentioned, wanting to learn Touch Designer and how to send messages from Touch Designer into Unreal. So we'll be covering a bit of that super quickly, and hopefully that will help us move forward, and we'll get to share our screen at the same time. So I've been working, so before I even go to Touch Designer, I've been working on this custom Mixamo blueprint, which you will be able to see from our previous tutorial and stream. And if you've been following us, I'm going to just quickly open up the Google Drive where I have saved all the Mixamo blueprints, where I've also included different instructions for it. So super quickly, if you've been following our YouTube, I'm gonna also open up the YouTube playlist on how to, and I'm gonna mute this. So this is our tutorial on how to use custom Mixamo avatars for full body tracking in Unreal Engine. And in here, I've been using my favorite motion capture tool, which is XR Animator. In here, I will be showing you how to quickly create a custom animation blueprint for your Mixamo characters. And I'm currently working on 5.3, and you'll see that in 5.3, I've already included the Mixamo VMC animation blueprint. In 5.2 as well, I've done the same, where I've created a zip file, and I've even included a Mixamo character in there. And I've just very quickly included some Mixamo instructions, where you get to see that you have the relevant plugins enabled. After you unzip the U assets and put them into the content folder, you'll have to use VMC and open up XR Animator to use to communicate with Unreal Engine. So that's really about it. Just quick update of what I've been doing the past few weeks. On top of that, I've been also working on the Touch Designer workflow. This is quite interesting because apart from MediaPipe, which XR Animator sits on, I've been also looking at the NVIDIA Maxine AR SDK, and I believe XR NVIDIA body tracking, I believe it's called Maxine, where it also has body tracking functions And we've always been really inspired by the team at Touch Designer and how fast they integrate different tools. And so I'm just opening up this quick project right now, which has just 3 nodes, but with those 3 nodes, we're able to then communicate with Unreal Engine. And obviously it's just a quick start. So if you're new to Touch Designer, you'll see that there are different operators and they're color coded. So the purple ones, I believe, are called tops, and I think they're called texture operators. These are channel operators. So textures, you will see an image as an operator. For channels, you'll see them as channels. And then we also have different options such as, so we have top, chop, sop. I've suddenly forgotten what the S stands for. And then I think matte is material. This is data, and then custom. So Touch Designer is a node-based tool for those of you who don't already use it. It's a very useful visual programming tool for you to quickly prototype and send stuff around. You just have to connect nodes together. For example, I'm going to start from scratch again. So I'm just going to delete everything and start from scratch. All I need to do to get an input from my webcam is to use the video device in, and it'll quickly detect my webcam over here. Here you can choose different signal formats, which I think changes the performance of Touch Designer. And then I'm pressing tab here, or you can I think maybe double click, but going into chop, NVIDIA's just created these new body tracking node. So there isn't actually a description for it, but you'll see that different operators don't link together because they're not the same type. But all we need to do to connect this purple operator to the green operator is to just drag this into the top blank over here, and instantly you'll see that, sorry, it's a bit dark where I am, that we've got signals from a texture operator. One thing, so currently the body tracking is in 2D space, so it's UV, but all we need to do is to click on this little switcher, body 3D on, and I've also changed to aspect correct UVs. From here, we'll be able to see, if you zoom into this channel operator, I'm going to zoom in much bigger, you'll see that these different channels are already oscillating and moving around, so it's tracking. You can also see that it sometimes goes down to 0, which means it might be that the environment I'm in is too dim, but it could also be that it's currently not very stable. And so this is kind of where I've gotten to, and the way I want to communicate with Unreal Engine is through Open Sound Control, which is a protocol for us to send messages into Unreal. All we need to do here is just drag it out. I've right-clicked on the chop, and I'm going to send out with OSC out. So all I need to do is click on OSC out. And it's sending to localhost 1000 network port, which should be fine. So that's, I'll basically just receive on a port, and that will just work fine. So what I've done in Unreal Engine, I've actually made some notes. I'm just going to quickly cycle through my notes. I've been working on this little Miro, which actually includes some of your work, Lucas, on reviewing different free webcam-based mocap tools, as we're looking to kind of like deepen our research in this area. And one of the ways to communicate with Unreal via Touch Designer and OSC is that we'll need to create an OSC server to listen in on messages, and then we'll need to use a map to set so this is quite similar to the VMC animation blueprint, where we'll need to first, trying to zoom in as close as I can, on begin play, create a server, listen in, and get all those messages and set them into our own variables in this blueprint. And then I place this actor blueprint inside the level alongside this character, and I've used an animation blueprint to get information from these variables and set individually the bone rotations in animation blueprint. And then I kind of had a quick test on Unreal. So I'm going to show you what it looks like now. It's super janky and definitely not ready for any professional use, I imagine, because it crashes really quickly and yeah, it just crashes really quickly, but I'm going to show you super quickly what it looks like. So this is my animation blueprint that I'm opening up now. And I've basically taken my mocap data, and I'm only setting the rotation on my neck and the elbow because it's actually quite a manual workflow at the moment, and I want to just keep it. I want to just have a test on like how fast it could work. So right now I'm gonna split my screen maybe over here. Sorry, maybe over here. And start listening on port 10K and hit play. Oh, you can see that my arm is dangling really quickly. But from my last try, it was super it was super janky, so it also crashed my Unreal heavily. So as you can see, it keeps kind of returning, because there's quite a lot of latency, it keeps returning to a certain state. So this is really what I've gotten to right now, and obviously, yeah, it's not ready to be used or developed into a mocap tool yet based on how unoptimized it is. And you can see on Touch Designer, it's already, because it's so heavy, it's dropped my FPS to 1 or 2 frames per second, which is way too low, really. But it's now returned. Oh, I think I might know why. It might be that when I'm not clicking on Touch Designer, and my cursor is in the Unreal Engine space, it drops my FPS to save performance. So that might be something, yeah, that might be one of the reasons why it's so slow. But yeah, so for those of you who are just interested to trying to build something like this, this is literally just 3 nodes on Touch Designer. I'm going to quickly go through what I've done in the OSC blueprint. And you can basically, if you know that you're going to send message via OSC or VMC protocol, the programming is actually not too difficult. Basically, on an Axter blueprint, you need to create an OSC server, which takes your IP address and port, and then you'll create an on message received custom event, get OSC message address, convert this to a string, and then get message floats. And I've just connected these to the message received event. And that's basically, and then I've just set the mocap data to, so this is a map that is string on the left side and float on the right side. So what this looks like is like, usually there's a blend shape name on the left and then a float on the right. So with that, I don't have, we can't preview what the mocap data looks like currently, but you'll basically see like a table with names on the left and floats on the right, which are values that are being sent. And then in an animation blueprint, I've just taken the row names, and then on the values, create a rotator from that, and then transform bones based on that. So super rough workflow, but if you've been following the previous tutorials and had a look at our older blueprints, it's all done the same way, and I imagine that's maybe how it's done currently. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I also wanted to, because I didn't get enough time to show you this last time, I'd love to show you the dollars mono application as well. So dollars mocap, I believe, also is a full body tracking tool, and we've recently gotten free access to dollars mocap, and I believe some of it is free for many users. So I'm just opening it up right now, logging in, and it will start my camera very quickly. And I believe this is a calibration. Nice. So calibration might be this one, I'm not sure. Yeah. Nice, so calibration is complete, and you'll see that on this bottom corner there is my webcam, and it's already tracking my body. And I don't actually know which model it's working from, but I imagine it might be quite similar to MediaPipe from the looks of it. And it also has this full body tracking, and then on the right side you can see facial blend shapes, and I think this is following the AR kit, so 52 blend shapes standard. And if you think that my facial expressions are too flat, you can then use this multiplier slider, and it will exaggerate the expressions I have, which is quite interesting. So if I open my mouth over here, then it really drops my jaw. But this is super interesting, and the reason why I thought it's fun to use this is because I've recently found out about dollars mocap, and the most magical thing is you don't have to use XR Animator if you don't want to anymore, and you can simply use the project template I've been using the whole time, but use dollars instead, which is really fun. So I'm just swapping my Mixamo animation blueprint to the VMC one, and in here, once you start loading it up, in settings, you can choose Unity Streaming, which uses the VMC protocol and has the same exact port number as I've always had them. So with that, I'm going to check Unity Streaming. So that's already streaming. And I'm just having this on a weird window. But if I go and put in, I'm just going to open up this map that I have that was made for dollars. So in here I've got dollars, oops, not the dollars one. I'm not using their native Unreal plugin at the moment, just more so our own map. So I'm guessing use the Mixamo map. So the way it's done is have a VMC receiver, and on your receive IP address put 127.0.0.1, and port number is 39539, and then include a VMC tick from VRM4U plugin. And if you hit server listen now, you'll see that it's working super well. I'm just really interested in this because it took me no time to set up at all. So instead of using XR Animator, you can just feel really free to to use this as your body tracking tool instead of XR Animator. So we don't actually need facial mocap, so this might help it go faster. For Mixamo characters, I don't really have any blend shapes at the moment, so this is all I have. And I think for this character only has 4 fingers, but they work quite well. So yeah, that's just a really, really quick setup. So if you're bored of XR Animator currently, feel free to download Dollars Mono, and it should work on a single webcam. And if you follow the VTuber tutorial series, it will just work out of like plug and play. And so that's really it from me. And for now, I just really want to know what everyone's up to. Very interested in what everyone's working on. Do you have anything to show at the moment, Lucas? I know you've been doing so much research into motion capture, so I thought it'd be really cool to get your ideas on what kind of motion capture we should try to use. Have you also managed to use the free mocap, which is this tool that I saw on GitHub, because I saw that someone was using it. I was wondering if you've tried it. It's a marker-based mocap solution, but it's also free, and the performance looks quite good actually. Oh, amazing. Do you usually do Unreal Engine animations? So yeah, we've been meeting quite regularly here on this channel for VTuber workflows. And so yeah, feel free to join in the future. I think we're all just learning how to do it, really. Oh, I think I can't hear you at the moment, but I know your icon's going green, so you must be speaking, Lucas. Can't hear you just yet. I'm not sure why. Can everyone else hear you? It might be my problem. I did not though. How do I get to hear you? Oh no. Can I mute and unmute you? Maybe that would help. Your user volume is at 200 now, but I can't hear anything. Don't know what to do. Yes. I can really see your icon moving, but I can't hear you. I don't know why. Would it help if I mute myself? Maybe the output. Yeah. Go again. Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah. Thanks. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
So sorry. Yeah, feel free to share.
Okay. I will share my findings here. I'll show the whole screen. Okay, so I've been trying mocap for all. I'm still in the free version because I didn't have time to start the project because we're trying to get funded. And okay, so you guys will see my apartment, but that's all good. So I just opened it, like selected add camera, selected my 2 webcams because the apartment here is like, oh, now you can see me. The apartment here, like it's really tiny, so I need to squeeze as much space as I can. I'm using here two Speedo webcams, 60 FPS, 100 FOV, so it gets like a lot of space. And I just selected the cameras, did the calibration beforehand because I have them saved here. It's the distortion of the lens thing, so it knows the specifications of the camera. And then the tricky part that everyone gets like messed up is to get a board to calibrate it. And I really like Mocap Pro. Hold on, let me push my browser to the other side. It's because they have a human motion calibration where I can just walk around, and two more, if I'm not wrong. But here is how I managed to make it work like 100%. I just like connect the cameras and then select the profile. I already have it from the matrix here. You can see the little numbers and all that. And the secret is the board. I printed one in those scientific, when people go to scientific events and they have a poster and that it's like a plastic material. Yes, it's a version of a Shakura board, same from Mocap Pro, but different because they also allow for like for commercial use. I found on their website because it's in Japanese, and if I translate stuff, it gets super wonky. I'm from Brazil, so if I say something weird in a way or weird words, yeah, sorry about that. And the developer mashed up some mocap frameworks that they are allowed to be used in commercial projects. And like I can calibrate here, I hit start and says okay. So it's like don't need to record a video and see if it worked. It's like really interactive. That's why I like it.
Wow. To be honest, yeah, I think the spatial quality a lot of these motion capture solutions are missing, and this does look great. I guess it is just two cameras, which is fine.
Yeah, I have a YouTube video with three cameras, and I could do a lot of motions, like spin on the ground and all that.
Yeah. No, this is great. Yeah, if I have like a second webcam, this would just work. And I think the field of view, yeah, is a massive difference.
Yeah, I'll just record a quick one just as a demo. In the free version, you can export 300 frames.
Super exciting.
So it's good to test. Let me see where's my folder. Here.
Nice.
Every time I record mocap with this, I get full cardio.
No, this looks really great. And to be honest, if translation is an issue, I can help with some type of translation. I don't really understand Japanese, but I can read a bit of it, so I can help with translating that into an English documentation. And I saw that on the window on the right, it supports VMC protocol. Is that right? Is that also part of a free trial?
Yeah, you can.
Sounds amazing.
10 seconds sending the data. So it's good to test. The pricing is, let me see here.
I remember downloading it before.
Yeah. Here is 500 BRL,
wow,
which is around $100. I think it's a good price.
Yeah.
Compared
it's
with
good.
Move AI. Move AI is a bit salty.
Yeah, I've been looking at Move AI's real-time mocap, and they currently can't do it yet for a product, and they only have like a set environment. I think they do it at their studio or something. So if that's their real-time mocap, it's a bit, yeah, it's very, yeah, it's not what people want. People want everything in their homes. Probably.
Let's see my poor motion here.
Nice.
Okay, there you go. A bit wonky here and there, but it's probably something on the setup. I was trying to fix it.
This is actually great. I don't currently have a setup where I work that I have 2 cameras that look into a space, but I think I might need to. Yeah, this is much more amazing. To be honest, for someone who does full body tracking, I never move my legs, so and just like move my fingers and stuff. This is great.
And it grabs the jump. Look, the jump gets recorded.
Yeah. No, this looks good. I'm gonna make a blueprint for mocap for all. I'm so excited for this.
They have in their website like
for Unreal.
Yes, but the rotation of the skeleton are a bit messed up.
Yeah, it's not too bad though. I can really work with that. I can really work with not perfect.
And it's because I think the developer is doing something else, or maybe the software is already good enough and he's not planning to do like more stuff.
Interesting.
But people complain a lot, but multi-camera setups are messy. I think I've been researching them for about 2 years now. So that's why if something goes wrong, I go like, oh, okay, it might be the calibration. I might have moved my camera a little bit. I just need to recalibrate and try again, do other shots. Because this is not like $1 million mocap, like with low balls and 60 cameras. So it's okay to be a bit funky.
Yeah.
But they have shared memory too. I have no idea what it means, but
shared memory.
Yes, where supposedly can refer the data directly from RAM.
Oh, okay. So another thing I've been struggling with is I know the VMC receiver in my project is super heavy. It's not optimized, and I want to know like how to make it quick. I just want to know. So the memory is a good part. I need to start researching in that. Because OSC is a heavy process, I imagine. So I think that's something I'll need to work on towards this month, maybe the end of the month. But that's a really cool demo. I'm gonna put that on my mocap research now.
Okay, I will share the YouTube video I did with 3 cameras.
Sounds great. How do you get so many webcams?
I bought 2 of them. It was like 180 BRL, like super cheap for 60 FPS. I think this is, let me see here, like, this is around $40. This is like really cheap for a webcam.
Yeah, that's great.
And I have a PSI that my cousin borrowed me. It worked. I don't know how, but it worked. It was all good. And it worked. 60 FPS. I was able to jump, like, do. Here's the video. I didn't clean up anything. I just recorded it. Like, I think I recorded for 2 hours or something. Tried everything, rounds, kicks, like everything I could. And yeah, I'm planning to use Cascadeo for the cleanup. And yeah, that's my research so far.
Looks lovely. Definitely going to check this out. Maybe today. I just need a new webcam. Then also looking at, I mean, this is if people are interested, but if people end up seeing any interesting free tools, I've been looking at TDPT as well, but it keeps crashing on my iPhone, so I wonder why. It's not made very well. I know it's a Unity made app, looks like one, but hasn't worked the best for myself. But if that works, it also supports VMC protocol. I can quickly make a blueprint for that as well for those of you who are using an iPhone or any phone. I don't know. Maybe it's also supporting Android. Let's have a look. We're going into online shopping mode. Oh, maybe it's like a Brazil website for AliExpress. But yeah, it would be nice to start moving away from XR Animator and branching out into other tools. So yeah, I mean, feel free to have a try on Dollars mocap. We've been put in touch, and I've heard from them that they would be able to get our users free trial, I believe, and so you might not get any of these trial 20-second limits. So if that's what you're interested in, I'll probably put your names or emails forward, so you'll be able to use this for free, hopefully, and without their time limit. But yeah, great. Thank you so much for sharing. And please, I'll also have a try on iFacial mocap and create a blueprint for that. But ideally, maybe the way I think of how VTuber Studio will grow is I'll start placing all these blueprints into separate folders inside a template project. So if you're using any of these motion capture tools, there will be an animation blueprint that works right away. But yeah. And a PSEI with universal driver. That's great.
Did you try the native iFacial mocap blueprint, or is it a plugin, if I'm not wrong?
Oh, I haven't tried their own blueprint, but I believe, I'm not sure. Is there a blueprint that's iFacial mocap?
It's a plugin. You just open an animation blueprint and plug the pose in the output, and landscape work.
Yes, so I'm going to try that. I think using my own OSC, it crashes, but I think using their own should work with a pose included. But I'm gonna have a try maybe this week. I remember it was super quick. Yeah, I remember it was super quick. But I'm gonna do that just very soon. I'm gonna do that very soon, maybe this week.
Hi, Jem.
Hi.
Could the animation blueprints be shared via something like blueprintue.com, or is just the U assets weren't visible inside Unreal Engine?
Oh yeah, are you using 5.2 by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna actually move. So the 5.2 project grew out from our earlier VTuber Studio project. Are you looking for a Mixamo, or are you looking for
metahumans?
Yeah, just in the last hour, I actually found inside your VTuber project the VRM for you ones, so I can see where you've started to build from.
Oh yeah.
So at least I've got that, but it's just it'd be nice to see how you've tweaked it as well, just on the other side.
So to be honest, I haven't done too much of my own tweaking, but I'm gonna copy these over now. Oh, I've just done it. So I've just created a new 5.2 folder for face VMC. This is for a metahuman, and metahuman VMC. This is a body. Let me rename this very quickly. Rename face metahuman VMC, and body. So let me know if these work, but I can quickly walk through them as well if you need, if you want any of the instructions, if it's relevant. I'm gonna do the same. This is a 5.3 project, but it would look very similar. So I'm gonna go with minimum default. I think maybe it's one of these. Oops, maybe one of these. Might be the metahuman, might be in this one. Sorry about that. But all I've done is really take the VRM plugins for a VMC receiver, and then use the same maps and set them inside a metahuman animation blueprint. So how that's done is, so this is horrible. I didn't create this blueprint at all, but very quickly, I need to find where it starts. Is basically create a server, and I need to find the create OSC server. Create an OSC server, and then you'll start getting a bunch of VMC protocol messages. So with that comes the body animation blueprint. Where it will kind of add from raw data, it'll add kind of rows to this map and values, and inside the anim graph, we're just getting information from the map and transforming bones individually. So if you zoom out of this, this is super scary, but what I'm actually doing, this is a body shape. This is the left fingers, and I've gone from the ends of the fingers into the inner joints. That way the rotations make sense. And then left shoulder, and then from, I believe it's hand, and then, yeah, hand first, lower arm, upper arm, and clavicle. I should be able to, yes.
Screen?
Oh yeah, I'm sharing. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sharing on YouTube. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I've just been on YouTube the whole time and I forgot to check. Okay. So on the blueprint side of things, I can share it there, but I had an issue with blueprint sharing websites where it didn't copy all the variables before. And so I wonder if it's easier for me to upload them on Google Drive instead. So super quickly, I'm going to start again. I'm going to open up the OSC blueprint. So I'm going to start from scratch just to explain how it works. Basically, if you're getting messages from OSC, we'll need to create a server to listen in on these messages. And then basically, once you get the message address, you can turn them into string,
And then you'll also need to get the floats of the message, which are your values. From here, I've created a variable that stores everything as on the left side string, which is the name of the bone, and float, which are the values of bone rotation, for example. And so this is a very rough way of doing it, and the VRM4U people have followed the same, they've basically followed the same process. However, their blueprints are very messy, and I must say it's really hard to read them. So let me show you what it looks like. This is their VMC receiver. Yes.
Yeah, it seems very fast as well, though, because dollars, they use control rig instead.
Yes.
So when dollars is fast, it's because it's using your system, the VRM4U system. When it's own system inside control rig, it's maybe half a second laggy more. So your way's a lot faster.
You think control rig is slower or faster?
Control rig is slower, so the fact they go into control rig is just slow, whereas your way just really fast, you know.
However, I also use control rig in some rigs. So the reason why I need control rigs for metahumans is VMC stream assumes that the T-pose is idle. And so if I have to stream rotation without the control rig, everything bends inwards. So at rest, it'll be on A pose, and then if I move my arms, it'll calculate from the A inwards. So I'm also streaming with control rig at the moment. There is one...
Sorry, the only relevance of that was you can't use play and editor when you use control rig for all the bone rotations. So they can't do that, but your way does.
Oh, so using...
They've confirmed it can't be done. They have to do your way with the animation blueprint.
I see. So is there like a quicker way to avoid any of this?
No, I'll just be copying the way you've done your animation blueprints, because it is faster. And actually, XR Animator side by side with dollars seemed faster.
Do you think?
Well.
Do you think so? I think it's not fast. So I think there must be something going on that I need to fix. And I imagine it's something to do with VMC receiver, and I'd love to have a look at it at some point. When I have VMC receiver on, it's insanely slow, but I think I can clean this up. I just need to feel encouraged to do it. So the fact that there are people watching this stream, I will probably take some time to just clean it up, because this looks horrible. Whoever's done this is horrible. But there's a lot of things that we don't need in this blueprint. I need to figure out what their anim subsystem is. There's a lot on here on previous blueprints that are setting materials that I definitely don't need, but I haven't had a chance to look at. So sometimes these temp things are not in use as well. But yeah, I'm curious. I don't really come from like a programming background, but I'd love to know what would make a blueprint fast. And I think that's my main objective at the moment. I should hopefully optimize these to make them much faster. I think these anim blueprints are fine. It runs okay, but this is my problem at the moment.
Can your way have skeletal meshes being children of other skeletal meshes, so that the IK rig is retargeting those movements to the children? Because that way you get to change the character just with a click of a button, and the clothes can change and all these things underneath.
With IK rig, let me see. So currently a metahuman. I see what you mean. Yeah. So so this is one mesh, and then the face is one mesh, that kind of thing. And for Mixamo and Daz characters, they're all the same mesh as well. What you mean by IK is that, so for example, do you only do a few points and then use IK to wrap them around?
Yeah, I was lucky yesterday. I found a project. He'd done the bones for Daz, he'd done the bones for U84 and the mannequin. And basically, you just plugged it in. You didn't have to do any bones yourself. The retargeter was there. It was automatic. And
I know what you mean.
When you've got inside the third person container, then underneath you put any skeletal mesh, and it could be the costumes, and then you just switch the buttons and just change the costume, change the character.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And so it's really cool.
Yeah, I've done this before as well, where you add the third person, you can basically have its own retargeting. I would love to know how that works, because that retargeter is great. So yeah, this you're right about this, because this animation blueprint is doing what retargeting is supposed to do, but I did it all manually myself. Yeah, I remember clicking on something and then you basically just check retarget and then it just works. I don't remember how it's done. Is it like this? Not here.
Sorry, can I just chime in on this little aspect?
Yeah.
I have a metahuman who I've done some motion capture with the Rococo suit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have the motion capture, I've put it on the metahuman and it works fine, except that the metahuman gets disfigured a bit, because I don't know, I'm tall, so I guess that's something with the animation.
Yes. So there's something called in retargeting, I think you can change the scale of something. It's something called like root to scale or something like that. But feel free to share your screen. We can have a look.
I actually don't have it in front of me right now.
No,
sorry.
I'm gonna try to find it. So let's say we need a metahuman and we need a metahuman and we need to retarget it. So I can create a retargeter in animation.
Oh, you can do that all within Unreal?
Yes.
I was going to do it in Maya.
Oh, that's maybe too much. So retargeting, let me see if I can do it here. I don't have a lot of stuff, and I should open up my VTuber studio project, but in here, if you have a source skeleton and I'm just doing a random one.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that because of proportions, you can do maybe something like this. I don't know. IK metahuman IK. So maybe just these two. You can choose to, in the retarget chain, I believe there's something to scale. Let me just quickly Google this.
No worries.
Retarget scale, and I think Move AI people taught me this actually. Retargeting scale. Okay. Retarget. So from Rococo, do you have a Rococo skeleton, or did Rococo already map everything, retarget everything into metahuman by the time it goes into Unreal?
I think it was retargeted because the file that I just took seamlessly went into the metahuman slot and it works great, but there's still some weird it's warping the model.
Yeah. So that's to do with, because metahumans come with different proportion and skeletons. That might be if in Rococo, I haven't really used it much. If in Rococo you could select like another skeleton, they usually have like male female skeletons, different proportions. So I think choosing those will help. Otherwise, I would suggest just exporting the animation from Rococo as a normal mannequin, and then do retargeting here. With this, you can do stuff like scale target mesh scale, which helps map the height if the scales are different. So you could do something like that to change. So on the left, you would have the Rococo skeleton, on the right maybe the metahuman, and then you'll have to do all of these. There should be tutorials online to do chain mapping and retarget that way manually. Usually you'll get better successes with warping this way, but I really remember that there was this, if you right click on something, you could create, I remember there was something you could do to do with like scale. So I don't.
No worries. I can. Yeah, I'll look for it.
I think that was around. I don't know if that maybe was too long ago that it's gone now, or scale E5. No worries. Thank you so much for joining. Scale issue. Let's have a look. Yes, I don't really know, but I would suggest that way of doing it that way.
Okay.
But when you get to it, feel free to join the next stream. I should be able to help you with that.
No worries. Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, Rococo should have enough kind of control rigs or animation blueprints to play with as well. Are you exporting animation data into Unreal? I think you can also do kind of streaming. There's also another tool called Motion Builder, isn't it? That might be an Autodesk thing. If you're already a Maya user, maybe I would try retargeting in Motion Builder and then streaming it to Unreal as well. That's also an option.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look at them, but it's just a simple fix. If I can just fix that one tiny thing, I don't think I need to do anything else.
I think you should be able to tweak it, or actually, if you know which bones are scaled weirdly, you can use the idea of an animation blueprint, which is this one. Transform bone and set the scale. Set the scale of certain axes. So while you're doing that, you can add. So transform bone has you can also do stuff like scale, but scale mode you can do add to existing, and so it blends on the existing stream, and then you can do maybe 0.9 on certain bones. Maybe if the neck is too long, then shorten it by that. That's also one way of doing it. But yeah, I think there are many ways, but they're not the official ways. The official way, from my memory, MovAI taught me to do this retarget chain scale thing. And maybe it's in an IK rig, so let's have a look. If it's not, then it's somewhere. I don't remember where. Yeah, no. Yeah, something around scale. If that doesn't work, yeah, there's many ways to do it, I think. But yeah, I'd give it a go with. The easiest way is to see if Rococo comes with other metahuman rigs, because they should also know that metahuman comes with lots of rigs.
Right.
If they don't, then the second way is try to Google the scale
retargeting thing. If not, the third option, export as their original Rococo skeleton or default skeleton, and then import that into Unreal, do retargeting inside Unreal. And then if that's too much, then use the animation blueprint and set scale on certain bones if you feel that that's appropriate. But yeah.
Okay.
Quite a few options,
you.
not official, but yeah. Hope everything goes well.
Yeah, thanks for the options.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I love these chats because it feels so much more interactive, and it feels like a lot of people are working around this in their time. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. And do you have any suggestions for next few weeks on what we should cover? I'll definitely look into for call solo. I'm really interested in getting your advice on optimization, if you know anything about that. But I'll have a look at the retargeting for third person blueprint to see how that's done.
The fastest by miles is still your VTuber project. It's still that. And I couldn't.
I don't believe it because I think it's slow.
Oh, it's so fast.
Is it? Okay. Well, I didn't make the XR animator. I didn't make the XR animator project. It's I tried to stalk this developer, but young, and he's not really interested in working collaboratively. I was just like, oh, I'm so interested in your project. We're making this into Unreal, and then just never replied. They just commented on something really silly on Twitter or something. But I'll have a look. There's definitely a way to make it even faster. I just don't know enough C++ to read it properly. But I need to just spend a day to look at this. But I promise it will be faster. But thanks for the compliment. I hope it'll be used for something actually useful in the future. But yeah, what's your background? You're also working on VTubing. I
mean, the VTubing's an idea you planted in my head, so that's actually very interesting. You know, Hardcore Rick is a very engaging, wonderfully entertaining character.
Nice.
And so this is a seed you've planted, you know, so
that's cool.
I really love, you know, the cameras, the fact that you can just press buttons and just be changing to different views is incredible. So it's so great that to go to Touch Designer from Unreal.
There's actually another thing that I'm really interested. I mean, from previous streams, we've tried it before, but using XR Animator and eye tracking, we got the blend shape values to bop around to change materials. And you could actually also use that to trigger physics changes in space. So yeah, we've got lots of ideas, but I just need to focus on one thing each stream. But that'll be great if everyone could focus. Also, yes, Lucas has just created this amazing Dalmatians animation working on Groom, so congrats on this. We'll probably try to share it on our on the Offworld Instagram if possible. But yeah, any cool ideas, feel free to drop it in this channel. I'll be regularly checking and seeing what we could do. Obviously all these blueprints are open source, so I'll be able to share them on G Drive, on Blueprints websites, that kind of thing. But just let me know what you need developed, and I have at least an hour each week on this stream to do it together. So yeah, it'll be really fun. Yeah, congrats, Lucas. That looks amazing. And thank you so much for sharing again. Yeah, thank you. And hopefully see you again next week around the same time, if this time works for everyone. Seems like a popular time. But yeah, thank you everyone again for joining.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.